Alrighty, so that was Monday Night Football. Now let's get into our cash and trash list. We update these on Tuesday every week when all the games have been played. This was the cash list going into Week 14. We had the Dolphins defense: Nick Chubb, Nick Folk, Dan Bailey, Derek Carr, Henry Ruggs, Baker Mayfield, Wayne Gallman, Devontae Adams, and Josh Allen, all being cash going into this week. Now let's go and assess all these players on this week's games. See who stays, see who goes, and see who gets added on here, because we do have a couple of additions here, and we do have a lot of removals. So, without further ado, let's get into the cash list. And the first team up here is the Dolphins defense. Now, where the heck do we land on these ones? I mean, folks, would they force 4 turnovers? They forced 4 turnovers on defense. Are we going to punish this Dolphins defense for the offense not capitalizing on touchdowns on all of those turnovers? It's real close. They gave up 33 points. That's not great, but it's also not that much either for this Chiefs team. You turned it over 4 times. You gave your offense so many opportunities to go out and win the game. Unfortunately, the Dolphins' offense is a little lackluster at this point of the season. So we're not going to penalize the Dolphins' defense, I don't think. I mean, let's look at these numbers. Patrick Mahomes, 3 interceptions, absolutely incredible. And Mecole Hardman had 1 fumble. Patrick Mahomes fumbled as well. He didn't lose it. So 4 turnovers by this Dolphins defense. I think we got to keep him on here one more week. We'll lead the Dolphins defense up here. All right, let's go to Nick Chubb. I mean, he had a pretty solid game. Game came down to the wire. Real close game, high-scoring game. So we're not going to penalize the Browns for losing. Usually if the player loses, we usually take them off the cash list just because, we want winners out here, and being cash is associated with winning. But in close games, real high-scoring games, close games right down to the wire, we kind of don't penalize the losing team too much. And I don't think we penalize Nick Chubb here. He had 17 carries for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns, a huge success there in the running attack, really helping out Baker Mayfield. So it was a close one, close game. We're going to excuse the loss here like we did with the Dolphins as well, and we're going to keep Nick Chubb on this list. This man's doing real good here, folks. Alrighty, then we go to Nick Folk. He was on here for the game-winning kick. Unfortunately, the Patriots, they don't put up too many points this week. They put up 3 points, courtesy of Nick Folk. He made all of his field goals, which was 1. Never had a chance at an extra point. Unfortunate, but he didn't do a lot, so we got to take him off the cash list. I mean, we're not going to keep you on because you made 1 field goal. Come on. Come on. Nick Folk, unfortunate, but hey, you were on here 1 week. 1 week for kickers is pretty much what you expect. You don't expect game-winning kicks or a lot of good kicks in back-to-back games. So kickers usually live short-lived careers here on the cash list. And they may also go to the trash list now that we talk about this next kicker. Dan Bailey, once again, game-winning kick for him, but then he kind of, let's talk about it. We'll talk about it right here. Let's get to the Dan Bailey here with the Vikings. Let's talk about his stats because these are not cash, I'll tell you that. The opposite of cash, I would say. So Dan Bailey this week, 0 of 3 from field goals. Yikes. And he missed the extra point. Oh my God. All right. So that's obviously not cash. We're not going to go into his stats because we're going to save that for another segment. I think y'all can guess what segment we're talking about because the last segments we have left are finish the cash list, do the trash list, or do the power rankings. And I don't think we're going to be talking about the kicker in the power rankings. So we'll save the rest of that information for the next segment. All right, then we go to Derek Carr, and man, oh man, did that man have not such a good game. Got blown out by who? Phillip Rivers, again. So Derek Carr goes 31 of 45, 316 yards. I can get behind that. 2 touchdowns, I can get behind that. But what does he do? 2 interceptions. They only put up 27 points, and they get blown out 44-27. So can't trust Derek Carr just quite yet, unfortunately. Not sure what I make of this Raiders team now. Not sure what I make of Derek Carr, but I can tell you he is not cash for 2 interceptions. All right, then we go to Henry Ruggs. And if we're talking turnovers, we're talking Henry Ruggs and Derek Carr. This was Hunter Renfrow that had the fumble, so I take that back. Henry Ruggs just did not have a good game. 3 receptions for 18 yards. I mean, he was on here because of the game-winning touchdown catch over the Jets last week. That's why Derek Carr was on here as well for the throw. But both of these Raiders players come back with a loss at home when they were trying to secure a playoff spot. Not a good team, if you ask me. All right, so Henry Ruggs comes off the cash list. Now we go to Baker Mayfield, and it sucks, but we have to take him off. It wasn't a bad performance, don't get me wrong, and it's actually a good performance. It's just not cash. It's not cash because of the interception. If he doesn't throw this interception, I may be able to still have this man on this cash list, but this is a crucial interception. Crucial. You're down a possession. It's in the third quarter. You throw an interception, and the Ravens score a touchdown off of it. Literally, all the boxes that you check when you look at turnovers were all checked, and that's never good. So we have to take Baker Mayfield off this cash list. It's unfortunate. He had a great game. I will give him that. He had a real great game, folks. But unfortunately, he's still making kind of fatal mistakes, those turnovers. Josh Allen made them. He kind of got bailed out in the first quarter by their defense, and Baker Mayfield was not so lucky getting bailed out on the 1 yard line with his interception. Alrighty, let's go to Wayne Gallman now, and this entire Giants team was struggling all game. So Wayne Gallman, 12 carries for 57 yards, no touchdowns. This is a good running game by him, but nothing explosive, nothing to really kind of propel this Giants offense into something that they needed. They needed just one jump start. They never got it. So, unfortunately for Wayne Gallman, we're going to have to take him off the cash list. Short-lived. Alrighty, Davante Adams. And whenever we say Davante Adams, you know we're going to keep this man on the cash list, folks. This man is Aaron Rodgers' favorite wide receiver, and he goes to him a lot. And they always connect, and they always have a lot of yards, and they always have a lot of touchdowns. So, here we go. Davante Adams. 7 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown. We're going to give it to him. We'll keep him on this cash list. What a great game by Davante Adams. Just being there, being consistent. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's going to get his time. Davante Adams, he had the most targets in the game with 10, and that basically doubled second place. The second leading wide receivers targets were Marquez Valdes-Scantling with 6. So Davante Adams loves Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers loves Davante Adams. It's a match made in heaven, and they may win a Super Bowl because of this connection right here, folks. So we'll leave Davante Adams on here for one more week. And then that brings us to our last kind of remaining player on this cash list, and it's Josh Allen. What do we have on our notes? Are we keeping him? All right. Great game by Josh Allen. Don't get me wrong. They win the game. They're moving up in the power rankings, so Bills fans, please don't come attack me. But he still had this interception, and it came in the first quarter, and they still really couldn't do anything in the first quarter until the defense stepped up, and that brought new life, new energy for Josh Allen. So I do want to give the man credit. You win the game, which is exactly what you want to do, but it was a slower start. You throw the interception. You're lucky you got bailed out by the defense. Look at Baker Mayfield. He threw that interception as well. He couldn't get bailed out by the defense, but Josh Allen does. This was a good performance, but 24 completions for 238 yards, right at that kind of 10 yards of throw threshold between dink and dunk and airing it out. So he was doing that, 2 touchdowns, doing it in the second half. It's a good performance, don't get me wrong, but I still cannot shake that one interception. I couldn't shake the one fumble that Baker Mayfield had last week, and that still gave me doubts. And then what does he do this week? He still turns it over. So we're not going to say it was a cash performance. It was a very good performance by Josh Allen, but we're going to have to take him off the cash list for this week, unfortunately. Alrighty, so the Dolphins defense, Nick Chubb and Davante Adams all survived the cash list. Now let's go to who was cash this week, and we'll put them on the list. So the first one, we're gonna go to Chicago. How crazy! And no, we're not doing Mitch Trubisky. We're not getting too crazy out here, but we are gonna go to Allen Robinson. This man is so good, and he has to catch balls from Mitch Trubisky, which is not the easiest thing to do. And Allen Robinson, I think he's now the lead, or no, he's not the leading wide receiver because that's Travis Kelce, but he's still very, very good at what he does. He's the best wide receiver for the Bears, and if it wasn't for Allen Robinson, Mitch Trubisky would be lost out here. Allen Robinson does everything. 9 receptions, 123 yards, 1 touchdown. He was targeted 13 times. The second leading wide receiver was targeted targeted 7 times, folks. So Allen Robinson gets the majority of the work, catches the balls, always reliable, over the middle, going over top, one-on-one matchups, slants, comeback routes, red zone, middle of the field. He does everything, folks. He's real good, and we'll give him credit here for having success in this game. 123 yards, we're going to give it to Allen Robinson. So well done, Allen Robinson. Put him on. Not going to put Mitch Trubisky on. Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns, but it was like 260 yards. So Allen Robinson, very well done. When was Sunday? Let's get this date up so we can track. It was the 13th. Here we go, 12/13. And he is solidified on the cash list for the week. All right, the next addition is going to come from the Tennessee Titans, and do I even need to say who it is, folks? It's Derek Mother-Lovin' Henry, folks. It's Derek Mother-Truckin' Henry. It's Derek. You better hope you're not playing this game, because I'm going to smack you in the mouth, Derek Henry. 26 carries, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. You're averaging 8 yards a carry. Oh, my goodness. Nobody had an answer for this man. He's back on this cash list. He's been on here so many times because of so many great performances, whether it's 3 touchdowns in the first half, whether it's 150 yards in the first half, whether it's 200 yards for the entire game multiple times, whether it's an overtime walk-off run for 30 yards. Absolutely love Derrick Henry. He's the best running back in the league, folks. That is not hyperbole. That is straight facts. All right, so damn Derrick Henry. I'm about to just make a cashless Hall of Fame and put him on there, honestly. He deserves it. All right, let's go to our next addition. It is going to come from the Chiefs game. The Dolphins defense is already on here, folks, so no, we're not putting them back on here. It's going to be Travis Kelce, the leading wide receiver, and he's a tight end. I mean, folks, it's wild what he's doing. He is the leading wide receiver through 14 weeks in the NFL, and he's a tight end. So, I don't know. I mean, that's Tom Brady's greatest dream, but he can never achieve it. Unfortunate. So Travis Kelce, we're going to add this man to the cash list. 8 receptions, 136 yards and a touchdown. I mean, Tyreek Hill, when he's second at the wide receiver for the Chiefs, that's, something is going crazy there. So we got to put Travis Kelce on this list. It's about time. I think this is his first time on this list this season. So well earned. Well earned. Probably could have put him on here a couple of other times. I think we probably went with Tyreek Hill over him a couple of times, but he's finally getting his recognition he deserves. Travis Kelce, man, oh man. Tight end that catches and acts like a wide receiver, folks. Damn. We all thought Gronk was good, right? Travis Kelce is Gronk times 20. All right. Let's go to our next kind of addition here, and it's going to come from the Colts game. And folks, we have to give credit to this running attack by Indianapolis. It's one of the best things. I think that's kind of why the main reason why Phillip Rivers is having so much success this season is because they're not putting it all on Phillip Rivers. They got Jonathan Taylor and this Nyheim Hines, folks. I mean, he's one of the best running backs in the league. He's great catching the ball out of the backfield, great running the ball as well. So we're going to give this cashless performance to Jonathan Taylor this week. The running backs here are definitely helping out Phillip Rivers, and Jonathan Taylor just had an absolutely fantastic game. 20 carries, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yes, it's still not close to Derrick Henry, but it's still a very good performance. And what Derrick Henry's doing is really unheard of. So we got to just give it to Jonathan Taylor as well. How do we spell that name? We'll figure it out later. We're not going to spend too much time. I always have hard time spelling Jonathan. John. I don't know. I would spell it Jhon, but I think that's wrong most of the time. So Jonathan Taylor, very well done. We'll get your name spelled out after post, after we go dark. All right. So Jonathan Taylor, very well done. He's having great success this season. Alrighty, we've got more here, folks. All right, let's go to, who do we go to here? Let's go to the Eagles game. Here we go. And man, oh man, this Eagles team, folks, they rely heavy on their running backs as well. And Miles Sanders, he always provides the spark. He'll always have a big run to jumpstart an offense. And this game was no different, folks. Where is his big run? He had a big one. Miles Sanders, 82 yards for the touchdown. We see this multiple times. He literally jumpstarts the offense. Carson Wentz was only good when Miles Sanders was good. Jalen Hurts had a good game, and he was kind of having a good game before the Miles Sanders run, but that Miles Sanders run definitely kept, Jalen Hurts comfortable, kept that Saints defense in check. So we're going to reward it here, helping out, giving your rookie quarterback his first game, giving him all the help he needs, and we respect that. So Miles Sanders, 14 carries, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 8 yards a carry, just like Derrick Henry, just didn't get, another 14 carries to get to the yards that Derrick Henry had. So Miles Sanders, absolutely fantastic job. He's really been underrated here for this Eagles team. The Eagles team, what they do real good, their defense is good, and their running attack is real good. It's just Carson Wentz. He hasn't been that good this season, so they've got 3 wins because of him, now 4 wins because of Jalen Hurts. So Miles Sanders, he's getting the recognition he really deserves for the entire season. We're giving it to him here today. Very well done. Alrighty, here we go. Let's move on. The next one is going to come from Washington. And folks, I think we have a new defense we need to start talking about. Washington's defense. Let's look at this. Nick Mullins, interception. Nick Mullins, fumble lost. Jeff Wilson, fumble lost. 3 turnovers. And they also had a fumble 6. Look at this. Scoring points on the defensive end. Fumble 6 coming right here. Was this Chase Young? Did he have the fumble 6? Covered by Chase Young. Look at this. He runs it in for like 40 yards for the touchdown. And they're not done yet. They got a pick 6 to really ice out the game. Who had the pick 6 here? Let's see. We got K. Curl. Very well done. 24-yard reception, interception, 76 yards he went. Holy cow, that's a sprint. So this Washington's defense, the defenses that we've had on the cash list, Steelers defense, Dolphins defense, Rams defense. Welcome to the club, Washington. I think Washington's the best team in the NFC East now just because of their defense. I don't like their offense. I think it's one of the worser offenses in the league, even with Alex Smith at quarterback, even with Gibson in at running back. They really just focus on Terry McLaurin. He's still getting it done somehow. Don't ask me how. He's the number 1 wide receiver. Everybody should just be blanketing him, covering him, double coverage. He's still getting open somehow. So I don't like Washington's offense, but I love what they're doing defensively. Ron Rivera, kind of a defensive-minded head coach a little bit. And he's just getting his players ready to rock here. This is going to be an exciting Washington team come next season, maybe 2 seasons down the road when they get their quarterback, when they maybe get a better, maybe a second good wide receiver or maybe an elite running back. Their defense is solid, folks. So Washington defense, very well done. Welcome to the list. Defense club, welcome to the list, folks. So here we go. Very well done. Washington's defense. All right, we're not done, though. We're not done. We've got 3 more. So here we go. Let's keep it going. All right, let's go here. Where is it? Where do I got it up at? Where do I have it up at? It's the Vikings game. No, not the Vikings game. It's Atlanta. Who did Atlanta play? I'm blanking on who Atlanta played. Here it is. Atlanta and Chargers. In the next edition of this cash, this is going to go to a game-winning field goal by Mike Bagley. It was only 43 yards, but very well done. Game-winning clutch field goal. You make it. You get the Chargers the close win, which they've been clamoring for. If this Chargers team took another close loss, I think majority of this team probably would have offed themselves in the locker room. But Mike Bagley saves some lives out there. And we'll put Mike Bagley on this cash list. It's not a long field goal. Don't get me wrong. What was it, 43? That what we said? Nothing too big, but still, hey, your time is called. Your offense, your defense did whatever they needed to do to get you into that shorter field goal range, and he absolutely drills it. So we give respect to that, man. We always appreciate game-winning field goals because special teams, that's a huge proponent. That's the third facet of the game, offense, defense, and people like to overlook special teams or not even talk special teams or even think special teams should be taken out of the game, which it shouldn't, folks. That's the third facet. Special teams, have a good special teams, have a good kicker. Other teams are having good kickers. That's not my problem that you can't find a good kicker, that your kicker isn't reliable, that your kicker isn't like Young Hui Koo, who's drilling 50 yards consistently. That ain't my problem. Mike Bagley, well done here. All right, 2 more, and we got to go to Buffalo for our next one. We're not going to put Josh Allen on. We already had him on. We took him off this week, but we are going to reward Stefon Diggs. I mean, folks, Stefon Diggs last season, he was with Minnesota. Minnesota was a playoff team. He leaves Minnesota. What happens? They're kind of falling apart a little bit. In that early half of the season, the first 6-7 games, they were absolutely atrocious. We can accredit that to Stefon Diggs because Kirk Cousins was throwing the ball like 40 times back then. So we credit Stefon Diggs for all the success in Minnesota. He moves out of Minnesota. They're awful. He goes to Buffalo this season. Josh Allen is having his best passing career by miles. He has 70% completion percentage. You know how insane that is? That like Aaron Rodgers hasn't even done that. He's doing it this season, but Aaron Rodgers has like never thrown 70% for an entire career. It's real bizarre what Josh Allen is doing, and I think we have to give a lot of credit to Stefon Diggs. He had a fantastic game against the Steelers. Was the only wide receiver who was getting open consistently, as we see. 10 receptions for 130 yards and a touchdown. The second leading wide receiver for Buffalo was Cole Beasley with only 41 yards. So he basically had 100 more yards receiving than the next highest Buffalo Bills wide receiver. So we have to start giving this man some credit. Very well done, Stefon Diggs. Welcome to the cash list. His first time, I believe, on the list this season. So very well done. All right, and then we've got one more, and it came from last night's game. We're talking game-winning field goals here, baby. 45-20. That really should have been the final score. Don't pay any attention to that, safety play at the end of the game. It was just nonsense. This was a 3-point game, folks, and it's all because Justin Tucker, 55 yards, clean clutch down the middle. That's the kicker, folks. That's a legendary kicker, Justin Tucker, because he always comes through in the clutch, in the big moments. I mean, Lamar Jackson, everybody buys in. Lamar Jackson comes off the bench on 4th and 5 after being out for the entire fourth quarter. Justin Tucker's like, you know what? I'm not going to make that go for no reason. I'm going to hit this field goal, no problem. Here we go. Should have iced him, Kevin Stefanski. That's all I'm saying. So Justin Tucker, very well done. And that will do it for the cash list for this week. So very well done to everybody getting on this week. Well done to the three players to stay on this list. And this is going to be the cash list going into week 15. Dolphins defense, Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, Jonathan Taylor, Miles Sanders. Washington defense, very well done. Mike Bagley, Stefon Diggs, and Justin Tucker.